From WDWNT, the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is ParksCenter. What's going on, you beautiful park people? Welcome to ParksCenter. My name's Rob Whiteside, and with me is Mr. Patrick Hackett.
Chimichangas!
Sure. Jill Diffendahl.
Hello?
That works. Kamila Sanders.
Hi!
Pete, think of something quick. It's Mr. Pete Carney.
Sivatko, everyone,
Oh!
and a happy Wednesday to you all.
So good. That's brilliant. Did you just think of that? Yeah, you're
You gotta
something
come
already.
prepared to ParksCenter.
Yep, so welcome to ParksCenter. This week we're going to be going back to old school, and we're doing 4 panelists, 7 topics, 30 minutes in Disney Parks news, and we're going to kick it off with the OG park. It's Disneyland. Disneyland's opening up again on the 30th. I don't know if you knew or not. Everybody's talking about it. There's a lot of stuff to cover that came out. We had a very special news today, breaking news today about it, so you can go back and watch that if you want more information, or go to the website. So there's a new, as we figured, reservation system launching with it. We've got some hours. It's going to be open both parks are going to be open 10 hours from 9 to 7 and then extend to 9 to 9 in May. We've got a list of all the things that are open, and quite honestly, if they just opened this ride, I'd have been happy. And then they're talking about park hopping is available. They can do that on day 1 out there, sure. And then Savi's workshop is going to be open. There's a lot of stuff happening. So I want to throw this to Kamila first. Kamila, are people like beating down your door to go get reservations to go to this?
You know, kind of, but I'm already having to set some expectations because we really just don't know what it's going to be like. And the fact that people who have existing tickets get 3 whole days where they can get tickets first before tickets even officially go on sale. I just don't know what it's going to be like, how it's going to work. I actually have quite a few reservations who are trying to get there that first inaugural opening weekend, be there on the April 30th, and I just don't know. I feel like we finally got more information, but I still have questions, and we'll see how April 12th goes, I guess.
Yeah. Pete, are you going?
I feel like I'm gonna wait a little bit. I'm gonna let all the people in California enjoy their park. I'm gonna let all the soup. I'm gonna let Rob go.
Thanks.
Once you guys all go and you tell me you had a great time and all the protocols are okay, then you will see me out there. But I'm gonna say the earliest for me will probably be December. That is what I'm looking at for now. But again, super exciting stuff. Love to see that it's opening. Love that the park hours already are expanding, and they already have a plan for that. I think this shows that they're ready to ramp up quickly. Obviously, we knew they were going to open soon. We already had the dates. We knew, most of us knew that there was going to be a reservation system. There had to be for such a small park. Even if they're doing it here in Orlando, they're definitely doing it there. Just really excited for everybody. And again, I think we're going to see a very
Back?
I'm back.
Yeah, no idea what that was. So we got 2 of 4. So in the meantime, let me go to you, Patrick, since you're around here. You're here.
Yeah.
You got things to say about Disneyland?
I do. I actually have a lot of things to say. I think, the governor took a lot of heat for waiting to open the parks. I feel like that's paying a little bit of dividends with being able to park hop right off the bat, seeing hours extended already. We're hearing talk that there might be nighttime parades. I think that even though they were extreme responses and it did feel like it dragged on a little bit long, that we are reaping a little bit of the benefit, that it seems in a better place to open than Walt Disney World did. And I think some of the stuff that you're seeing, the attractions that aren't going to open, are ones that they don't want to install plexiglass on. I think that they're making that conscious effort because I'm hopeful, I'm crossing my fingers, like I've been saying the past couple times on the show, is I feel like we're turning the corner. We haven't turned it all the way, but we're turning. And I hope that plexiglass on attractions is a thing of the past relatively soon.
Yeah.
Can I say?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No,
I just kind of along the lines of what Patrick was saying, related to some of the rides and attractions that will not be available when the parks reopen. The one that surprised me the most was the Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin. Because I just felt like, and I was actually thinking it was related to that ride spends too much time indoors. And I know there were some questions about, like, was Rise of the Resistance going to be available, which it looks like it is. More information is coming on that. But that's probably the one thing that surprised me, because it's such a good people eater in Tomorrowland. It's open and working just fine in Disney World. So I just wonder, like, what's the decision on that one?
Well, and they say it's closed for refurbishment. So for y'all who have not seen the list, here's the list of the unavailable Disneyland attractions. And like I said, if half the park was open, I'd be excited. But these are the things that they're saying are not open. Chippendale Treehouse, I get that. I mean, it's a small space, and there's really not much reason to be in there. The Davy Crockett canoes, there's a lot of cuddling that happens in those things. Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, I don't quite get, except for the fact that it's indoors. Jungle Cruise, we think it's because of the reset, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. The Pirate's Lair on Tom Sawyer Island is the same as, our Tom Sawyer Island situation. So, and the Storybook Canal boats, oh my gosh, that queue for Storybook Canal boats, if you guys have ever stood in that queue, is a nightmare of closeness. And it was the first thing that I thought of when I thought of, like, trying to reopen Disneyland. It's just like you are basically making out with the people on your left and your right, and that's not always good. One other thing that I wanted to share, though, and we'll get to Jill on this one next, is that we have a video that Katie grabbed from Disneyland that has this very touching moment where the train is moving, actually moving, like things are actually happening. And after over a year of this park being closed through its birthday, the big birthday, the big milestone, it feels like this is just a magical moment. What do you think about all that, Jill?
Yes.
Perfect.
I appreciate. I appreciate the train is moving. Here's my question. So the other story that we had this week about California is that Governor Newsom is now throwing out his tiered reopening plan and is saying, like, the entire state may reopen as of the 15th. And so here is the question that none of us quite know the answer to yet is does that mean that Disneyland will be able to reopen to non-California residents starting June 15th? And if that means they're able to, will they? It will be very interesting to see how that goes, because I think there are plenty of us who are champing at the bit to get out there and see the park and do not have California residency. So that's my big question. My other maybe protest is the fact that why do Disneyland parks get to be open for 12 hours? Like, they're starting being open from 9 to 7, and then after a couple weeks, they're opening from 9 to 9. And meanwhile, we've been dealing with, like, crappy reduced hours in Walt Disney World since the parks reopened, and that stinks.
Well, they started to do 12 here. Epcot and I know Animal Kingdom were both 12 this past week. I'm not sure about studios.
Yeah, but I think they're only open extended hours because of spring break. That's not like an ongoing thing.
It's been 2 weeks, and the next 2 weeks too. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kamila. This is
no. I just was going to say. I agree with Jill, and I have an interest in this because I have a trip in early June, and my park hours for, like, Magic Kingdom are 9 to 6. But I've been hearing that 2 weeks beforehand they've been modifying them to make them open later. But why not just go ahead and say, when you're posting the hours, what the actual hours will be if you're going to extend them? But if not, I feel like 9 to 6 doesn't feel like very long.
Yeah, Arlo in chat seems to think it's because they're cooler in California.
True. These are facts.
Not wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I mean, temperature-wise, everything's cooler than Florida right now. That's a fact.
One other fun little thing is we got this, like, little glimpse of the Snow White's Enchanted Witch poster. It's exciting, the fact that it's not just that the park's reopening, but that there's going to be something new there. And whether you're a fan or not a fan of the changes, we won't really know until we get to see it in person. I think it's kind of cool that there's something else in addition to it being open that we get to look forward to with this and the extra magic that's supposed to be at the Haunted Mansion. Just a thought. So let's move on to something on our coast. They've had some breaking news here that even though they told us, and honestly, I mean, if you think about it, Jason Aldean and his family were way ahead on this. You don't have to wear a mask anymore when you're wait, what? Anyway, you don't have to wear a mask anymore when you are taking photos, which is pretty awesome. You still have to be socially distanced and still over to the side. They're doing that with PhotoPass photographers, and apparently that started today with what looks here to be some side kind of an influencer photo shoot, but not really. So, you know, this is I don't know. Here's the thing about this is I thought it was kind of cool that you had to wear a mask when it first opened because it was a sign of the times. I was there that year that we had to wear masks. We hope it stops after this, but I think that was something that, okay, here's me in a mask at the park. And then also from a comfort level of people from far away going, hey, I'm going to go there. Oh, at least they're wearing masks and being protective. But these rules have ebbed and flowed as we've gone along. Patrick, how are you feeling knowing about the safety and the need for it?
Honestly, the ebb and flow is probably what really throws a lot of people off. We're not used to a pandemic. I mean, I guess we kind of are now. But the way things change on an almost daily basis was difficult for some people to kind of come to grips with. I think the maskless photo is fine. I mean, the more and more that we learn is that the outdoor transmission isn't really until you're like packed in together. So like, I don't know when we're going to see concerts coming back, but the maskless photos are great. And Rob, you can always tip your mask on to just kind of a wink and a nod to 2020.
Okay, I'll do that.
I'm pretty sure if you want to take a photo with your mask on, they're not going to force you to take it off.
Oh God, that would be great though, wouldn't it? Take it off. Let's see your smile.
But yeah, we also had news this week that the Orlando mayor, right? I think it was the Orlando mayor saying like these are the criteria for at which point we will remove the mask mandate from Orange County, and I think it was something like 50% vaccination rate or something like that. So I mean, they're where the Orange County mask mandate will no longer be in effect. And again, that doesn't mean that Disney has to remove their mask mandate. Disney can still require masks in the park, even if they're not required in the county. But I'm sure those things will influence one another.
Pete, you go to the parks all the time. Will you continue to wear a mask even when it's not a mandate?
That is tough. I don't think I'll take it off my person. Listen, there's certain areas of Disney that definitely get crowded. Some walkways, some queues, just certain areas if you are there often that you know where I think I'd be more comfortable wearing a mask. But to me, if I'm outside walking around and most people are around a 6 feet bubble around me and I'm vaccinated, you might see on a hot day me pull it down for a little bit to catch a little bit of breather. It does get very warm and things are only heating back up. So I don't know. For me personally, again, I get my first shot this week, so I'll be vaccinated by the time this actually rolls around. But again, I don't think Disney's going to stop requiring masks at all. I think they'll just see them pull it back, how often you have to wear it. Someone said, I don't know who in the company, but we talked about it a few weeks ago, that we would see masks till at least January 1st. In some official capacity, somebody said that. Yeah. So again, I don't think we're going to see them just be like, you don't need to wear a mask, but it's like, all right, for your photo pass, if you're far away from everyone, you can pull it down. And I think that is coming from, that's got to be the biggest number one complaint all over the parks from people going to guest relations, as well as the thing they have to yell at guests the most about. Every day, everywhere you look, that's all I hear cast members saying to people. At least 50 times a day I hear it. Just like, got to be up, cover your nose, can't take a picture. Sorry, no, you have to have it on the picture. Okay, yeah, you have to have it on sir, you have to have it on for the picture. And the guy's like, but
I guarantee you cast members are so happy they don't have to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure the cast members who were on mask patrol are the most, like, unhappy and just, like,
is.
Exactly. Although, theoretically,
all the cast members, I think, like, it was an $18 an hour
just
raise
because we
where they just never had to yell with people again, and they took to not yelling.
Yeah. Just because Remember Hopper guy was getting his photo taken doesn't mean that he wasn't violating the policy.
But that other guy, he spent $18,000 on his vacation. He could do whatever he wants.
Oh, the guy who snuck in?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump quickly over to everybody's favorite topic, El DeBarges. There's lots of DeBarges here. Now there are 5, and it's a party, right? I mean, now we can have a full party.
It's a party.
I'm going to go to our resident Floridian and say, Pete, have you been out and seen the barges, and do they look like a party waiting to happen?
Oh boy, I have seen them. It's I don't want to say I'm getting used to them. I'm just going to give them a chance. I feel like we complain a lot on our shows, and we try to keep Disney in check a lot. But I don't know what they're going to look like during the day. I don't know what they're going to look like at night. I don't know what the nighttime spectacular will be like, where it might make me okay with them floating around. As of right now, yeah, do they look terrible? They do. They look awful. You can't see, depending on where you are in the World Showcase, there are a lot of the time you cannot see across the lagoon there. So a bit interesting. Let's just hope there's something really, really spectacular that's coming from this, because they took away such beautiful sightlines.
Yeah. Anybody else? Barges? Barges, anyone?
It makes me sad. Like Pete's notion that he's becoming blind to it, it hurts my heart, because that's what Disney wants. Disney wants us all to become immune to it and to not complain about it or think it's a terrible move, because they're like, well, people will just get used to it. And like, I get that will happen when you're in the parks all the time. You're going to stop staring at it because it's there. But it's just like, that's Disney's strategy for everything, is we'll do something terrible and people will just get used to it after a while. And it makes me sad.
Patrick?
Man, I applaud Pete's positivity. I'm glad to see him back on the positivity train. It's horrible. It's a money-saving venture that didn't need to happen. Like, just spend the money to park them out back, build a bigger dock for them. It looks atrocious. And I've stated it a bunch of times on here, how amazing would it be? We have that one shot of the Stargate coming through the bridge over there by Equatorial Africa, and it would just be a show-stopping moment to be like, oh man, Harmonious is coming out, look at it. And tacos and rings.
Bring us home with something positive on this one, Kamila. You and I are both looking forward to this, thinking they're going to save it, right?
I just am going to reserve my full and final judgment until we actually see what it looks like during the day, if it's a fountain, and then also at night. I'm holding out hope, but I mean, it's tough because it really was a very pretty view. But I'm just going to believe in the Imagineers.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't you wish, like, that other bridge on the International Gateway went up to, and this could be like Electrical Parade 2.0, and it goes out past the Swan and Dolphin, the Beach and Yacht, over to Hollywood Studios. Like the 5 barges and even the circle going the sideways. And at night, this would be such a cool thing for everyone in like the boardwalk and the beach and yacht can come out on the beach and watch the barge show, whatever it is. But I just wanted to end on a positive note. That's not happening. Come on.
Okay, well, I just wanted to mention that there were indeed 5 members of the band DeBarge. I don't know if that's relevant. I don't know. So let's take a look at this. Speaking of when they know what they're doing, here's this pavement that they're fixed, and we got to assume. You got to assume, and I hate seeing this. Like, if I know they've got to do maintenance, I get it, I totally do. But if you're the first time in the park and you get like through this magical place between Small World and Peter Pan, and you see this going on, it's a little bit sad. But what they've done here is they've cut into this stonework here. And they're replacing some pavement. So ideally, they would replace all this pavement. It would be, it would look good all the way through. Everything's great. So this little stone pavement area right here used to be the area, and I pulled up this where there were these pylons for the Skyway. So the Skyway had these pylons that went through this area, and that's like where the stonework pieces happen. And I think they've always looked very good, but they haven't made sense as to why they've been there.
They're taking up a lot more too. You can already see the wet saw marks for the next night's work going behind it and directly in front of the picture if you pull up that frame again. But those crooked lines that kind of just stop on the angle. You'll see them on the bottom of the screen here, and kind of going around the circle on the top. Those are just the wet saw right there that cut. So this pavement's going to be cut up either probably in the next week or next few days and going around. So I think this is just the beginning of a good amount of stonework. They're doing this. They're doing a lot of replacement at Epcot around the World Showcase too.
Would you like to go into more detail about what a wet saw is? Can we educate the people?
Sure. If you take a dry saw to concrete, it is a dust and debris nightmare. A wet saw is one that uses water and it keeps dust down, and it's used to cut like ceramic tile for your bathroom and also concrete just like that, and keep it's wet at the end, but it is not nearly as dusty and chaotic.
I can vouch for that as someone who had to use a wet saw to cut tile recently. Here's another thing I want to say about this. There was a time when I was there in January, February, where I think there was like some sort of structural integrity issue happening with one of those stone circles, where I don't know if something kind of like if one of the stones shifted or something, and I think someone fell and hurt themselves and they had it roped off. And I wonder if after that, like there was some sort of issue where they were just like, these stone circles are too much of a liability, they have to go. I don't know, that's complete speculation, but I think that happened.
By the way, when we were talking about barges, I had something all queued up and I didn't do it. And
I have to finish writing that. Oh, you just reminded me. I'm halfway through that.
I have a version saved. I'll pass it over to you too.
Yeah, I'm
Notorious was the category on Final Jeopardy tonight. Just saying.
Aaron Rodgers hosting this week, right?
Yep.
It all comes full
I'm excited.
circle.
Anderson Cooper is up next.
All right. Jeopardy Center. So let's move on to some Jungle Cruise news. There is a lot to talk about that came out, which is kind of crazy. Obviously, we know that when Disneyland reopens, the Disneyland version will not be open at all. They will keep it closed for a while here. And then we've got the new scene that we got to see, the cute little monkeys, and Tom said that they were saying monkeys, but they're actually chimpanzees. So he is also a zoology expert, which is good to have on staff. And then we also have that Trader Sam. This is the sadness, and again, the Trader Sam is gone. And if this was, like, I know it had to happen, but he had his own bar, like he had it all. He had everything going for him. Then we got some character bios, and this is kind of cool. This is available on our website. Bios of all these people who are climbing up the pole and what they're doing and why they're there. So a lot of new and fun information, but saying goodbye to Trader Sam. I want to start with Kamila on this one. How are you feeling about all this?
I mean, I'm fine. Never been better.
Good.
The thing I will say, one thing that I kind of hate about the Disney community is I feel like sometimes we get in the way of the parks being able to evolve. And I don't just mean like when it comes to, maybe some of these parts of the park that Disney would like to pretend never existed. I mean, just in general with everything. I do think over time, the Disneyland that there was in the 50s or whenever it opened should not be the same, all of the same park. I think there should be room to continue to evolve and grow and update. And so when these types of things happen, I try to think about, like, okay, if you did this to my favorite ride, which is Space Mountain, and you removed a key aspect, would it bother me? And I really can't, I guess I can't really understand it, because it wouldn't. I would just be excited for what comes next. And I just assume that the parks will continue to grow and improve. Like, look at, the Incredicoaster now compared to what it was before. I'm a big fan of the update. So I kind of feel like we need to give the parks, not just for this ride or rides in situations like
about whatever she's thinking about. And but no, I think that's a good point. Basically with this stuff, as long as they're plussing it out, I think we should all be excited, right, Patrick?
Yeah. My big point here is, do chimpanzees and or monkeys actually eat butterflies? Because that was weird to me. I had to think about that. The loss of Trader Sam is tough. It's Kamila is completely on point. It's an iconic thing. I know. Everybody take a drink.
Drink.
But times change, things change, and as long as it's a good replacement, I think it's fine. I think they really need to step their game up. Those are great points with the Incredicoaster. I do still worry about Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't think that was the right scene to replace what was there. I know it had to be replaced, but they could have done a much better job.
Yeah. Jill?
Trader Sam has needed to go for a long time. I think an aligned question with that is what's going to happen to Trader Sam's at the Polynesian, because I feel like the actual establishment itself is not problematic. Do they just rename it? What happens? I don't know. Do they connect it with the Jungle Navigation Company now? Is it now part of Sea? How cool would that be if suddenly Trader Sam's was renamed to something and had some connection with Sea? I think that would be super cool. I love the idea that all of these characters on the pole now will have names and backstories, and maybe we'll get more out of them because we never knew who they were before. We didn't know anything about them. So I think it's cool that we do. I think it's a little bit, I don't know. I think it's funny that Disney cast the diversity net as far and wide as humanly possible to represent every possible kind of culture and person they could about of all the people on that poll. It was who do we have underrepresented in the parks? Let's put them on this poll. I feel like it's a cheap way to bring more diversity into the parks. It was just we have all these characters. Let's just make one a Japanese entomologist and whatever. And so it's just funny to me that I think it was kind of a cheap way to kind of say, look, we're doing more for diversity, but at the same time, it's better than nothing. It's a whole lot better than nothing. So, and I 157% support everything Kamila said. I think there are times where we do get in the way, fans do get in the way of the parks evolving, and I think the parks need to evolve. Every other corporation on this planet has to evolve to be more open and welcoming and aligned with the times. And Disney is no different. Disney is not a museum. They didn't actually sell women all that frequently in pirate times. This is not some historical representation. Let's move forward.
We learned about wet saws and pirate times all in the same show. This is very educational.
And the chat told me that chimpanzees do in fact eat insects. Which,
wow. Okay.
All right. The more you know.
Well,
I think they eat anything you put in front of them.
So for this final story of the night, there's been scaffolding erected around this suggestive photo spot, according to this rag that I read, in Morocco. So they've put up these walls, and they've got this area with scaffolding around it for this photo spot that is a big fan favorite. And so this fan favorite is going to be presented to you by Mr. Patrick Hackett. He's been very excited to educate us yet once again on why this needs to be removed.
Step on all of my jokes.
I'm not making any jokes. I'm being completely serious. By the way, shout out to Superfan99 standing by the chimney there. How do you let this go on for so long? How do you not realize? How do you not monitor hashtags and look at people geotagging their photos in Morocco and allow this to continue that long? I think it's hysterical. It's very clearly a chimney. You can see the cutout of it all. But, you have to think. I mean, this was the same. We had the wall carpet over in oh my God, I forgot the name of the attraction with Simba over there. But that was very phallic as well. You have to see these things. You can't put your head in the sand and not notice this. This is a company that released a giant phallus on The Little Mermaid. Where is quality control? The reason you thought I was going to go all jokes, but this is a very serious problem with Disney, is that they don't spend and pay attention to the details. And I think that was what we're fearing when we talk about the Jungle Cruise getting a rehab, is they're throwing things in for the sake of throwing things in. It's great. Representation is awesome. It's amazing. It's important. But put a little thought, put a little care into it. And if you have a chimney that clearly looks like a phallus that people are taking pictures at constantly, maybe change it a little sooner.
What do you mean clearly? I mean, this is not. I don't I don't think.
No.
I think you're off on that.
Show the
one.
straight on shot. Show the straight on shot.
So, you know what? That wasn't really funny. Pete, can you top that?
You know, this is a very hard story to talk about, but I do think it was a very long time coming. You know, they erected this back in 1984. And to me, I just feel bad for the Moroccan artisans and everyone who spent a long time designing this and putting it up. I feel like they're really getting shafted. I just think some people are being a little bit stiff about this. I think it's just something fun. And if you are offended, they try to cover it up with a small bush right there. Yes, I get it. It sticks out a little bit. It protrudes into the sidewalk. But it's a chimney at the end of the day. So, but to Patrick's point, he may have swayed me, and maybe Disney should keep in touch with the community and see what's going on out there. I think this could rub some families the wrong way, so I'm okay with whatever they're going to do here.
Pete Carney, always ready with a tight
throwing
five.
away the script to News Tonight after watching this. Just
it was fun while it lasted. I mean, it is what
it didn't last that long, though, huh?
No. Okay. So, anybody else want to...
Okay, boys, can we please act like adults for 5 seconds?
Nope.
Sometimes an architectural element is just an architectural element. My favorite part was so today they I know we're not supposed to talk about Universal on the show, but they put a one of those new Mold-A-Rama machines that they have in the tribute store. It's actually an old Mold-A-Rama machine that they put one in the I think the new store they're building in Universal, and it's Jaws. So it molds a plastic shark. And Tom was also convinced that the new plastic shark also looks like a phallus. And I was just like, wow,
Well, and then there's the hot dog from
kindergarten
Japan too. Yeah,
kindergarten.
I mean, there's.
I don't see it.
No. Wow.
Oh, boy.
Woo! All right. So anyway, that's it. That's what we got tonight. That's the entertainment for this evening, folks. Thank you guys so much for joining us. A special shout out to our WIGS members. Jill, anything you want to say about WIGS other than how much we love them?
Wigs are the best. Just so all wigs are aware, tonight is the first night that you must be at the $7 level or higher to have post-show access, so be warned. I'm going to check and make sure everybody who is supposed to have access does, but that is a thing that is happening effective as of this past weekend. The other thing I want to share is thanks to all our new WIGS Ultra members, we will have their credits appearing on News Tonight tomorrow night. So that's exciting. That's if you're a WIGS Ultra member, keep an eye out for that. If you haven't heard from me, I've tried to message you about it, so email me if you haven't. We are posting some Japan calendar scans that are really cool. I may actually poll the WIGS in the post show of what year they want to see next. But yeah, cool stuff for WIGS. We've got some other exciting stuff planned. I actually, that doesn't exist, right? Well, no, it should. No. Didn't Tokyo open in 1983? Am I completely off base on that? Anyway.
I forgot we were talking about Tokyo. I'm sorry. Go on.
More cool stuff coming for WIGS. Stay tuned. We have something cooking that will be coming hopefully sometime over the summer that I think will be really cool. Yay, WIGS.
Wait, is it this?
That is all. See you in the post show.
Is this what's cooking? I don't know. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are a WIGS member, we'll see you in a second. And if not, we will see you next Wednesday night. Bye, guys. Have a good one.
Siva Ko!
Dun, 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 dun. Had to get in the last word, didn't you?
So good. Guajarini.
Hold, please.
Spike.
No.